Okay, should be going live. Hey Cramel, hey Scout Waffle. This is going to be depressing, yeah. Scout Waffle won't be able to watch most of the stream. Sorry about that. It's gonna be a rough one, I think. I've got a list of choices here that I'm supposed to pick to make sure that Inko and Olivia don't get any points at all. I'll be skipping through most of the stuff that we've already seen. And start. Skipping. These choices don't matter. Skipping also skips the animations. Hey, Chaos Wolf. Mr. Coach Solly. I don't know what actually happens in Ending 1. Yeah, I know what I have to choose. I have a list of options. Aw. It's so weird seeing him, knowing what happens. I looked up a guide and wrote stuff down before I started the stream. The music is super good. Damien told me about you. I haven't picked this choice before. I met Damien. He said I'd have to wait for you to sort out my login stuff. Damien mentioned me? Oh, you're the guy that got smeared into the ground in gym class yesterday. Alright. Skipping. Scout Waffle, not gonna lie, playing E1 of Snoot Wani always reminds me of Raul Mendez from Black Ops 2 saying, "Your life will be consumed by absolute loss." Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Like, it can't possibly be as bad as Snoot Game Ending 1. But I feel like Ending 1 of Snoot Game didn't hit me as hard because I kind of knew where it was leading up to, whereas I have no idea where this is going. Also, I'm pretty sure that Eadican's wife is not still alive. That's why he carries that feather everywhere, and that's why he refused treatment. Okay, hold on to the sheet until after class. I'll just hold on to this. That way Olivia will be spared from Miss Prockling's scolding. With the note safely in my pocket, I can focus entirely on the teacher's lecture, which was dragging on, and... Suddenly, I find myself leaning over to see what the wheelchair-bound girl is doing now. She's hunched over, arms atop her desk moving lazily. Alright, skipping. Wait, no. I bolt upward when the teacher calls my name and notice that a lot of eyes are now on me. No, ma'am, I was just trying to see the board better. Miss Prockling huffs. If you'd pay attention to what I said, that wouldn't be necessary, Mr. Nito. Yes, ma'am. And that goes double for the rest of you. Yes, Miss Prockling. Good. Now, where were we? Hi, actually not King. Oh, right, the old world myth of Magellanica, or what would be more accurate to say is my home continent. While she went on talking about her spider-infested homeland, I found my eyes looking back at a certain someone. A certain someone who was now looking back at me with wide-eyed shock. I'm caught in the briefest of staring contests, and for once I managed to win. Olivia's head whips back forward. It stayed locked forward for the rest of class. But the last look I saw from her that came after the surprise, that one radiated anger. I feel the folded paper in my pocket, and my mood suddenly dips. I mean, no one else was adding to it either. That look, plus the knowledge of what I had in my pocket, I take the note back out, unfolding it to see the singular doodle on the page. From the corner of my vision, I notice Olivia raise her hand to Miss Prockling. All right, Miss Halford, you may leave now. Everyone else, you may take the last 5 minutes to start on your homework. Okay, I think we saw this part. Gone is the paranoia from earlier, just plain annoyance. As she's leaving, I sketch the first thing that comes to mind. Olivia waits at the doorway for Miss Prockling to open it for her. Her head turns my way one last time, and I hold up the doodle page with a big fat doodle of Prockling in the center of it. Cavemanon released a patch adding translations, so maybe they'll make new changes? But I think they're busy with their other game. I don't know if they can afford making 2 projects at once. That's a good point. Her head turns my way one last time, and I hope, yeah. Her eyes widen again, though she's forced out when the teacher coughs meaningfully next to her. It's too late for me to realize that Prockling sees me holding the paper up. I try in vain to hide the paper, but by then the teacher is marching her way over. And what do we have here, Mr. Nito? She snatches the paper out of my grasp. Haven't I already told you about wasting the time you have in class? Her eyes go wide when she sees the unflattering doodle of herself. She looks at me, face scrunched in anger. If this is your attempt at making a humorous gesture, Mr. Nito, then I do not find it funny at all. Before I could explain myself, Prockling crumpled the papers in her hands and unceremoniously tossed it into the trash bin. Shoot. Defeated, I slump into my seat, now with no paper at all. Finally, the bell rings and the rest of us are excused. As I pack my things, I hope Olivia will understand what happened. Skipping. She continues to look at me with a vague look of confusion, as if my being as a whole was an enigma. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try, right? Olivia hums in disagreement, finally turning away. I think it won't let you skip unseen dialogue, but make sure that the option for skipping unseen dialogue is disabled. If you hover over the skip button and it turns green, then it's old dialogue. Let me see. Okay. Olivia hums in disagreement, finally turning away. Ah, crap. Maybe that was too forward of me. Oh, by the way, I, don't have the note on me anymore. Note? What, with the doodles from class right now? Yeah, Prockling saw me with it just as you left and she tossed it away. Sounds about right. And look, I didn't mean to hold on to it during class, but I didn't want you to get in trouble with Prockling if she saw you with it. It seemed like the best option for everyone, you know? She seems surprised by my reasoning and stirs in her emotions until she settles on neutral. It's whatever, I deal with her on the regular anyways. Her head turns to look neutrally at... Huh, didn't know the school had elevators. Why don't more people use it? She flashes a key from her pocket, so it's part of her accommodations. Makes sense. By now, the hallway has cleared up a bit. Let me see. Options. Skip. Yeah, skip unseen... Wait, don't skip unseen text. Okay. She moves her arm to push the button and jams the key into some slot. Anyways, later. I'll, see you tomorrow then. I watch as the doors slowly shut with a squeak until I can no longer see the green gator girl. My senses return to me, and I start making my way to the metro station. It's definitely been a rocky start, but I put it on unfortunate circumstances, though maybe there were some things I could have done better. Liz and Ben may have had a bit of a point about Olivia, but I'll keep trying. Enable saucy images on. Well, yeah, I mean, they can't be that bad. This was on Steam, and it didn't have, like, an M for mature rating. Hang on. A week into September has come and gone, and I'm finally feeling acclimated to St. Hammond. Skipping. Barbecue, alright. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's not like Katawa Shoujo, where it just randomly has full-on, like, softcore hentai in it. Okay, for this one, I need to convince her, not invite her. Cute. I'm sure this wholesome moment won't be tainted by anything that happens later. Ben falls in the meatloaf. Defend Olivia. Screw it. If Olivia's not going to defend herself, then I will. Olivia needs my help here. Whoa, hey, what's going on here? Oh, good lord, it's Basic Baldy coming to save the day now. Baldy's Basics reference. Piss off, new guy. You won't score any points doing this. Wow, they are just lampshading it. I grit my teeth as if this were for popularity. Luckily, I know what to do in this situation. Hey, I can go get a teacher right now. If this is how my classmates treat each other, I'm disappointed. Especially you two, Lunara, Kiara. Kiara and Lunara look aside a bit, more aware of their situation now that I've pointed it out. You know him? Yeah? It doesn't surprise me Lunara's gotten cozy with him, but come on, dude. We weren't ganging up on Olivia. You were. I saw all of it. How you all bullied her. Bully. Really? Mia spits out the word bully like it's the word of the day in kindergarten. Somehow it makes me feel silly for saying it. You gonna tell me to pick on someone my own size next? What? Did you even hear me? I said I'd go get a teacher. All the people my own size? I think I killed them all already. Kidding. You really need to loosen up, huh? Are you ignoring me? I said... I heard you the first time, retard. Instead of repeating yourself over and over like a freaking idiot, how about you try a threat that actually scares me? Suspension doesn't scare you? She smiles. Let's just call it friends in high places. Look, just cut Olivia some slack. Shut that gullet of yours. Hey, Olivia, I think your paladin here hasn't graduated night school yet. You wouldn't like it if it were you. Mia laughs, dryly. Why the fuck are you trying so hard? It's hilarious. Are you just trying to get a piece of that leathery gator tail? What the fuck? Yes, fuck, exactly that. Let me slip something that works into those pants, babe. Holy shit. The other two start chortling again. Mia's forced me lower on their social scales. They're compromised. My face heats up. I'm starting to see red. And yet I'm frozen in place. How can she just claim something like that without hesitation? Oh my, he's not responding at all. His head is so red. He's totally into gumping it. This was a mistake. No, it's for Olivia. They're not focusing on her anymore. I can still fix this. I take a step forward to continue my argument, but Olivia grabs me by the wrist. She gives me a pleading look, one that makes my thoughts stop in their tracks. Aw, isn't that sweet? See, she knows you shouldn't be embarrassing yourself more than you already have. Is that true? She gives a single solemn nod. How touching. Hey, it's getting late. You gonna clean up your fucking act or what? Freaky odd dialogue, indeed. She glares at Mia, then to me, then back. Another single nod. Oh, so I can try basically anything with you and it's no dice, but when things get rough for him, things change? Good to know. The three saunter off and round the corner. I turn to look at Olivia, who in turn scowls and wheels past me without a word. I reach out to her. Olivia, are you... She smacks my hand away. I'm sorry. It's just that I couldn't sit back and let Mia trash talk you like that. Olivia stops in her tracks for a moment, her head turning back towards me. In her eyes, I don't see any anger or sadness, only disappointment. Her citrine eyes are downcast, her claws kneading the cheap leather of her armrest. It takes me a second to realize Olivia isn't talking to me. Forget it. Olivia doesn't even wait for me to say anything back to her request. Her arms push roughly on the rims of the chair, which takes off down the hall, without so much as giving anything or anyone the time of day. I stood up to Mia for Olivia, and I end up in this mess. The final class ends, and I'm set free for the day. Inko being embarrassing here for the first time. Alright, we've seen this part. Hot Wheels, the explanation for it. Aw. The assembly. That's not his painting. Here we go. Okay, I have to say I can't hate you. I can't question it further. And I've seen this. Going to the arcade. I noticed in the credits for Snoot Game, Buster O'Nuts is named after one of the devs. Here we go. Thinking back to that confrontation with Mia, standing up for her there didn't really pay off either. But that was a while ago, I just don't know. I look over the crowd again. The match is about halfway done, judging by the remaining health pools. Don't cause a fuss for Olivia. No, even if this Buster loser wants to give Olivia special treatment for her disability, I'm not gonna overcompensate for her sake. She hates that. As for the game, though, it's a bit disappointing, but what can you do? It's just one match. I've had plenty of fun with Olivia today, and we'll have fun afterwards as well. I should just focus on that, and the game. On the display, I watch Wani Long do some crazy gravity-defying rising spin kick. Doesn't this imply the nickname Hot Wheels was also given out of pity? Discarding that thought, no need to make myself mad. Wani Long manages to go from that absurd kick into grabbing Buster's larger character and bodily dragging him to the bottom of the screen. The arcade machine replays the impact landing thrice, and even in slow-mo. Winner, Wani Long. Buster throws up his arms in defeat. Well, you got me. Looks like I underestimated you. He sticks out a hand for Olivia. When she goes to grab it, he shakes it firmly. Thanks, you're pretty good too. Buster raises her arm like a wrestling champion. The gathered crowd bursts into cheers once more. Damien, too. I'd consider if he just forgot. No, he has the right idea. I'm not going to be a stick in the mud about it. All right, that was awesome. Hey, you know they sell food here, right? We should get some snacks to celebrate. All right, skipping. Nope. He takes his own order and starts marching off in another direction. Damien, wait for the rest of us. Behind me, Olivia's brow furrows with worry, just for a second. She knows. I smile back at her. She shakes her head and smiles back. You did pretty great. Thanks. You hungry? Damien wants to go get stuff. Damien's always hungry. But sure, I'm up for a pretzel. Alright, let's go catch up with them. Okay, this scene is the same. Wait. Okay, no, we did see this. It looked like that was playing out differently than I remembered. I love this sequence. What's going on? Who is this? Where's Lucy? Where's my daughter? Okay, the wedding. Calling Damien was the wrong thing to do last time, so I'm going to do that again. Consult the others. It's funny how Damien walks around the house while he's on the phone. Lunch date, kind of. I think I'm doing perfectly well in that regard. And so is Olivia here. I gesture over to the green dino who seems to jump in surprise. Oh, yeah, of course. The response seems almost instinctual on her part. That must mean she's really taken to my support. Phew, that's a relief. Aw, man, this is gonna go downhill so fast. I suppose that's good to hear. The Leviathan finishes jotting down something on his clipboard, finally turning to Principal Scalar. I think I have everything I need for the time being. So, Mr. Ferris, why don't we adjourn to the faculty lounge? Alright. This part happens. Here we go. Aw, hang on, I wanted to see that. This is such a well-animated sequence. You've been watching a lot of people's first playthroughs of Wani, and it hurts your soul to see them choose the bad options. Yeah. They aren't always immediately obvious. While you do believe that not getting E4 first is better, using every excuse you have to watch E4 again, yeah, it's always neat to see someone else's first impression of something that you've already seen yourself. Tasing. Take the key. Alright, let's get this over with. We've gotten this far. Time to end it. I've had about enough of I've had about enough of all this stress, and by the looks of it, so has Olivia. She's been dealing with this much longer than me, so it's time for me to carry my own weight here. It's the least I can do to take that final step for her. Even if she doesn't trust Yatakan, she trusts me. She doesn't trust Yatakan? That doesn't sound right. That's because it's not right. But it can't be anything else. It's just that. Enough nonsense. I take the key and move to slide the key in the panel. Oh yeah, I saw that guy who got ending 4 first on Snoot Game. I didn't watch his playthrough of Wani because I didn't want spoilers. With the key inserted and twisted, the dark room shudders briefly before the metal door finally starts to slide open. We're greeted by the sight of our teacher, looking very haggard, his brow slick with sweat and holding some strange black rod, okay? Seen this part. Locked in. Photography app. Wait. I gotta see this scene again. Look at the way he stumbles. He was actively dying the whole time, and he just kept going like nothing was wrong. Watch his channel when you get the time to. Yeah, I will. Okay, skipping. Cavemanon had no right to cook this hard. I don't think any of these matter. It's a bit unimaginative. That's just hater talk. Skipping. Okay, lunch. That choice didn't matter. The Mr. Beast t-shirt hits a bit different now, doesn't it? I'll watch him when I finish Wani for sure. Okay, I need to not choose Go Find Olivia. Help me out here. It's not my fault they reacted like school children. Come on, Liz, help me out here. I'm just trying to get everyone to get along. You think I don't want to? Not while you're snapping like that, and refusing to apologize. Apologize for what, Inko? In case you'd forgotten, I invited everyone here. This whole friendly outing was my idea, and at my expense. Yes, I intended for it to be a date, but the least you could do is not be weird about it. I'm not trying to be weird, I just hate the idea of letting you guys down. You get me, right? Yeah. Then can we try to smooth things over with Olivia? I got a plan. When she gets back, I can chime in. Then everyone can get along, right? Sure, I guess that's best for everyone. I really think this whole thing is a bit of a mountain out of a molehill. It was just one small argument. I appreciate it. I focus on my food and what I'll say while we wait for Olivia's return. Liz offers to trade her bacon strips for a few onion rings. Sucker. Finally, Olivia comes rolling back to the table. I'm back. Hey, you were gone for a while. Yeah? Things cool here now? I was actually about to say something about it to resolve everything. I can't decide who's right. You're my friends. I think you both have some good points, but there's a bigger picture that we all need to see. Deep down, both of you want to be friends, so why not turn over a new leaf, starting today? Is that it? Pretty much, yeah. So are we good? Sure, I guess. Yeah. That went much better than expected. After things settled down, we finished off our meals. Well, Olivia finished our meals. Liz had noticed it first when one of her whole pancakes simply vanished. Okay, seen this part. Gundam reference. King doesn't even know what's up with the Mr. Beast drama. You're too focused on your Echo playthrough. Fair enough. Like, I try not to pay attention to online drama. Ben has the right idea. We should all say goodbye together. Olivia needs us now, more than ever. I think Ben has the right idea. It's what Iadican would want. These are scary times, so it makes sense to be afraid, to be hurt. Don't worry, Olivia. I place my other hand on Olivia's reassuringly. I'm here with you. We all are. Ben is extending the olive branch here, right? You just need to accept it. Ben gives a tense, shaky, but approving nod. I'm glad you guys are seeing the situation for what it is and just how important it is that we make this eulogy something beautiful. Olivia glances around hazily, her voice broken. I don't want him to be gone, Inko. There's too much that I know, but we need to face reality. And we can do it together. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to face anything at all. It's okay, Olivia. I know. I was close to Iadican, but you clearly meant so much more to him, and him to you. He was the only teacher that seemed to really care, right? You know the ending is bad when you agree with Ben. Poor Ben. She nods. You're the most hurt, the most afraid. Why is he, like, hiding behind Ben, also? Is that an error, or... afraid? And we're here to support you. You just need to help us help you. If you're not ready to face reality, we can help you to think straight. To face it together. Can you do that? Her eyes rove over both Ben and I, and then back to our interlocked fingers. I take a hold of her other hand. She blushes and looks at me dead in the eyes. Can you help us? Okay. I'll think about it. I'm still afraid, but if you're there... I'm here. Ben clears his throat. That was, very inspiring of you, Inko. His hands aren't tensed up, he's calmed down a bit. He opens his mouth to continue, but I hold a hand up to stop him. Olivia's had enough for one day. Ben, could we get some time alone together? Oh, of course. I'll give you a bit of time to process all this. Inko, get off Ben, bruh, your girl right there. Ben walks up to me and pats me on the shoulder. With a final solemn look at Olivia and a nod towards me, he walks out of the classroom and leaves Olivia and I alone. As the door clicks closed behind me, I hear Olivia take a sharp and shuddery breath before turning to look at me. Her eyes are glossy and puffy on the edges. Trails of tears stain down her cheeks. And her expression is of someone who doesn't want to believe that it's true but knows deep down that it is. As I look at her, I feel my emotions come back twice as hard. No, I need to be strong for her sake, damn it. Olivia, I try to find the proper words to say something to her. Anything that could give her any sense of comfort to ease her pain. But I feel my throat begin to tighten like someone's hand is around my neck. I don't even notice that I'm crying until my vision becomes blurred with tears. Without thinking, I wrap my arms around the baryonyx and pull her into a hug. Oh. Olivia seems shocked at first, frozen by my sudden reaction. But then I feel a pair of arms wrap around me, hands clutching my jacket. We've seen this part. fountain scene, breaking the wheelchair, title screen image. All the scenes of them being cute together are going to hit very differently when whatever happens that makes this ending so bad happens. I just know it. +1 for the Gator Hug counter. Yeah, I believe we're at 3 now. Oh, this part. Beanbag scene still happens in ending 1? Leave her be. I'd hate to wake her up. As I turn away from her, something catches my wrist. It's Olivia's hand. Seen this part. Office scene. A silence overtakes the room, all eyes turn on me, and I'm considering how to approach the situation. I see Mia in the corner of my eye, along with the subtle fist she raises in warning. Recalling how badly she had thrashed that hallway causes a chill to run down my spine. Scout Waffle. Man, I hate how Wani makes you feel safe with all the cute scenes making you think you'll get the good ending. Yeah, it really does put you into a false sense of security. He's trying to play it smart, I think. Maybe he's onto something? I could... If I take the heat for this, maybe Mia will finally leave me and Olivia alone. Actually, yeah, Mia knows the score. If I help get her off the hook, I'd look pretty darn cool. She could even owe me one. Assuming the punishment isn't something drastic. I have no side of the incident, ma'am. I gave up. It's exactly as Ben and Mia say. I give up. It's exactly as Ben and Mia say. I instigated the whole thing. A hushed gasp manages to escape from Mia, but I ignore it and keep talking. I've been dealing with a lot lately, and when she was passing by, I remembered when she targeted me in PE on my first day, and I just saw the opportunity. Well, Inko, I'm very surprised. I'm glad you're willing to be so honest and accept responsibility for all of this. It shows character. It grinds against my soul to lie and throw myself under the bus, but I nod and smile along. It's for the greater good, after all. The greater good. Well then, I also appreciate this show of character, but we're still going to have to lay down the law here. Ben clears his throat loudly to draw the focus back to him. Inko got brain damage in this ending, 100%. Oh, this is the point of no return? All dialogue is new by this point. Got it. Ben clears his throat loudly to draw the focus back on him. Miss Scalar, if I may, it's clear emotions are still running high. The damage to the hallway will be fixed over the weekend, and nobody was seriously injured, right? People could have gotten hurt, and I get that, but consider the circumstances. Inko is in mourning like the rest of us. On top of losing a teacher, he's lost a mentor as well. Is that not punishment enough? Do we really need to throw the book at the only human student during a tragedy? During an audit? Scalar scoffs and grimaces. I think it would be in everyone's best interest if everyone were just cut some slack. Ben, you know that's not how we're supposed to look at this. She complains, but she's clearly somewhat rattled by the concept. Look, here's what I'm seeing here. Mr. Nito had some grudge against Miss Noretti, which he acted on with the camera flash. And this had the unintended effect of getting her hurt. So the whole thing effectively started with an accident. Yes, that sounds about right. Scalar turns her gaze to me next. I nod my affirmation. Scout Waffle, you want to say so much shit about Inko, but you don't want to spoil anything. Manipulative looking, yeah. Ben is really manipulative in this ending, goddamn. Scalar looks at Mia afterward, her eyes narrowing like daggers. Ben discreetly nudges Mia with his elbow. Huh? Oh yeah, that sounds like what happened. Right, and why did none of you come forward about this earlier? Inko and Mia were both friends of mine. They were confiding in me about the situation. They both apologized to each other already. Scalar's glare comes my way once again. You forgive each other? Iatakan taught us about forgiveness, ma'am. And cattle prods, but mostly forgiveness. That was good. Scalar's glare switches back over to Mia. And you, Miss Moretti. Mia stares right back, the gears turning in her head. Ben tries to nudge her discreetly again, but she doesn't seem to take notice. I feel myself start to sweat. I think Mia would rather take the punishment than admit any sort of faults. Yeah, I'm sorry. A wave of relief washes over Ben and I. Scalar looks more frustrated than anything. She leans back on her desk chair and shuffles through some papers. In addition to the report itself, our Iadakan has left behind his account of what happened. In it, he describes Mia's actions as openly hostile and intentional. Could you blame her? She couldn't see anything, and she was in a lot of pain. In either case, it seems both parties are in agreement as to the situation. I suppose that's why Iadakan didn't mention a motive in his report. Naomi was a manipulative Parasaurus. Ben is a manipulative Parasaurus. Mia is a baddie, a bitchy Parasaurus. Are all Parasauruses evil? Maybe. I think Mia's also part Stego, though. She has a Thagomizer. Now, I would like to give the benefit of the doubt, especially at a time like this. And given both of your statements, it seems whatever nonsense this was about has been resolved. Still, though, at the bare minimum, I'll have to give you both a day of Saturday detention to help clean up the mess. Afterwards, we'll have another talk to discuss this further. Ah, shoot. Still, this is better than it would have been otherwise. I'm sure Mia is satisfied. She's slouching in her chair pretty hard at this point, feeling completely unthreatened. What? It has already been 40 minutes. See you later, Scout Waffle. Actually Not King is watching without sound. Principal Scalar dismisses us. Mia skips out of the office without another word, leaving both Ben and I behind. We quickly follow suit, not wanting to bother Scalar anymore. Once we're out in the hall and the door clicks behind us, Mia props herself against the wall beside Ben. So, I'm in the clear now? Almost clear. You still need to come in on Saturday, but after that, you'll be good. And the meeting after? Don't worry, I can easily make that not happen. And my record? As good as scrubbed, but I'm pulling some big favors to make it happen. Mia lets out a deep sigh. This is why I love ya. Dude, she's using you. Wake up. Ben's face turns fuchsia in seconds, and yet he's wearing the largest of smiles. Thanks. In the blink of an eye, Ben is now the one up against the wall, Mia looming above him with her hand right beside his head. Just wait till later, Benny boy. What about me? For once, Mia wears a smile without any threat behind it. Yeah. Good work there, monkey boy. I was expecting you to play along as well. It felt like the easiest way to handle things. So you, what, wanted to take the blame then? I mean, it worked out in the end. That it did. See? But also, that's me extending an olive branch. Both parasaurs stare at me as though I grew a duckbill. To you, Mia. I just want to get along. Come again? Mostly, I'd like you to stop harassing Olivia. I think we can work something out. Well, aren't you special? And I mean that in the best way. Such self-sacrifice for friendship. Ben could learn a thing or two from you. Alright, just for you, I'll leave little Miss Grumpy Guts alone. Ben steps toward Mia with concern etched on his face. Mia, you were messing with Olivia? Shut the fuck up, Bluey. No, and now I never will, right? The pink punk turns back to me. Just free coasting to the end of the year and I'll be out of your hair forever. Sound like a good deal, Inky boy? I nod in agreement. Yeah, that's all I'm asking for. After Saturday, we won't need to see one another ever again, Mia. My hand is held out to her to seal our deal. See you Saturday, then. Instead of shaking it, Mia slaps my palm hard enough to make the involuntary clap reverberate in the quiet hall. Hiding my pain with a smile, Mia reciprocates with a grin of her own and turns away. Mia saunters off. Ben looks between the two of us. I don't get anything anymore. But I'm glad you're taking efforts to smooth everything over, Inko. Hey, no problem. It's the least I can do. Yeah, and I really appreciate it. You'll be fine with her in detention, right? Sure, totally. I clasp a hand on his shoulder and offer him my fist. He smiles back and reciprocates with a fist bump. All right, see you. See you. After school, I took the metro back home to shower and put on some new clothes. As it turns out, my parents really were on a business trip for the weekend, as indicated by a sticky note on the fridge. Well, I'm back at the Paynes regardless. Randy opens the front door to let me in. Ah, there you are. Damien mentioned that you'd be coming over later. Hey, Randy. Say, Inko, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind shoveling snow off the driveway when you can. Would really appreciate it, and I'll even pay you a couple of bucks for it. Yeah, this happened last time. No need for the payment, sir. It's the least I could do after coming unannounced again. Thanks a bunch, really. As Randy leaves, I step back out and collect the withered snow shovel half buried in the snow. Better to do this now than later. 30 minutes later, I find myself collapsed on Damien's couch and let my head rest against the comforter. God, my body aches as I finally feel the full toll of my efforts. Fraudco? Made worse by the heat of the room, I feel dizziness overtake me. My head twists as the room swirls around me until I can see Olivia's bedroom door. My eyes linger there as I consider getting up to see her or just giving her some time to come out. She has to know I'm here now, right? She probably does. She also probably doesn't want to do her silly knee walk thing again. I wonder how mad she'd be if I caught it on camera. Olivia? I knock lightly on her door. No answer, but I do hear a TV inside. The door creaks loudly, even as I push it open as gently as possible. Ah. Olivia lays in her bed, flat on her stomach. She's staring blankly at the TV on the floor. Can I come in? Olivia gives a slight grunt of approval. What you watching? One of her claws lazily gestures to a pile of DVD cases. It's a box set of Rurouni Kenshin. You've been watching this all day? That's a yes, then. You doing okay? My day was kinda rough. Class is different, you know? Yeah, I'm glad to get to see you again. I got called into the office, too. Ben and Mia were trying to get out of responsibility for that outburst earlier when she tried to kill us. Evidently, that meant trying to throw me under the bus. It is what it is, I guess. But I actually worked out my people skills. I made a deal with her and Ben, and she won't be bothering us anymore. Pretty cool, right? Olivia, I'm trying to watch... Oh. Can I stay? This is not good. Like, she's almost completely nonverbal. Alright, at least there's this. I want to sit next to her, but Olivia's spread out on her bed to the point that there's barely any room left. And what little space that was open has already been taken by the small rat curled up against her. Looking around the room, but there's no chair in sight. And after giving myself a mental kick for why there isn't one, I kneel next to the bed, letting my arms rest on its edge. Olivia grunts again, but otherwise focuses on the show playing on her laptop. I look at the screen and need to look away as several men are gunned down bloodily by an old-fashioned hand-crank repeating gun. I didn't know Olivia was into stuff like this. It's made worse by the fact that all the voices do well to convey the visceral pain they're experiencing. I push myself back up. On second thought, I probably reek right now, Olivia. I'm all sweaty from snow shoveling, and I don't want to put you through that. Another grunt, though this time there's a tinge of something in it. I should head home so I can clean up. If you need someone to talk to, you can always text me, okay? Her head kind of bobs, but her eyes remain locked on the screen. With hesitant steps, I back away from Olivia and out of the room. When I open the front door, I hear someone calling out from the kitchen. Yo, Inky, leaving so soon? Damien's head hovers just over the refrigerator door. Yeah, I should start heading back. Really? With a quick whap of his tail, the fridge is closed. Damien comes to me, offering one of his prized cans of soda. Olivia wasn't looking so hot when I checked on her earlier. Are you worried about her? Aren't you worried about her? I accept the offered beverage with a nod. She's fine, she just wants some time alone. You think so? She's just binge watching some old show and not giving anyone else the time of day. You're really going home so soon? There's nothing I really can do, Damien. She's fine, she just needs to recharge and rest. Well, alright. He sips on his own cola slowly, his eyes scrunched up in thought. Well, still, I'm gonna try cheering her up myself for a while. Damien style. As if to prove his point, he crushes the can against his head. Vinny and I can do it. She'll be back up and laughing in no time. Alright, she said she'll text me if she needs someone to talk to. Good to know. See you later, then. Yeah, I'll be seeing you. I exit through the front and shut the door behind me. A few seconds later, it's locked from within. The next metro should be soon enough. As instructed, I showed up at the school that Saturday to clean up. Oh good, more Mia. And to my surprise, Mia was already there in the partially repaired hallway, with her arm in a sling. A janitor was there too, talking to the obviously injured girl and giving her a thorough explanation of what we were going to be doing. I cleared my throat loudly, drawing both of their attention. Ah, took you long enough, Shades. I'm not repeating myself. I heard most of it, sir. Mia, are you okay to work like that? Shouldn't you be home if you're hurt? Oh, I should be, yeah, but then Ben or Scalar would get on my case. And I just wouldn't want to shirk on my responsibilities, yeah? Her smile is strained as she motions with her covered arm. Don't worry, it looks like all the serious work has already been done. Save for the set of lockers still on the floor. Is her arm really injured, or is she just trying to get out of working harder? From the looks of the hallway, most of the serious damage had been dealt with over the month. The janitor rolls his eyes and holds out a pair of push brooms. I take them both. Could you give her a dustpan, sir? I'm sure I can do this part by myself. Ah, thanks, Inko. With an affectionate pat of my head, Mia moves to the wall and leans against it. I guess that's where she wants me to push all the trash too, then. I'm glad she's also thinking ahead. While the janitor goes to fetch a dustpan for her, I get to work. The next hour or so, I spend studiously pushing all the debris on the floor towards Mia. Every time I look up, she offers a smile and a thumbs up, and occasionally I hear her cheer me on. At least I think it's cheering. Her voice and tone are hard to read at times. I always figured she just naturally sounded sardonic. My arms are starting to ache once all the trash is ready to be scooped up. With the standing dustpan ready, all the trash is easily dumped into the large trash bins loaned to us by the janitor. I just push pile after pile of trash into her pan, and Mia easily lifts and deposits them into the bin. Alright, Inko, take 10. When you get back, we'll be bringing these bins and the lockers out back. Wiping the light coating of sweat from my brow, I nod. Mia and I take a seat in a nearby classroom while I get some well-deserved rest. Real or fake, Mia? We'd be out of here a hell of a lot faster if you just finished cleaning. Sorry, but I'm tired. You had half a year of gym classes with Solly and you're still out of shape? Unbelievable. It's not my fault, he pushes us too hard. I can barely recover between classes. He's the best damn teacher at the school. If he can't help you, nobody can. Why do you like him so much? He gives his respect only to people who earn it. People like me. You don't think anybody else at the school deserves respect? Nah. Everybody's willing to betray each other at a moment's notice. Only reason that doesn't happen to me is because I put the fear of God into people. I'm not about to let my graduation plans be ruined because some cunt thinks they're hot shit. You actually have plans after graduation? None that involve any of you. I'll be long gone by the time this place falls apart without me. What about Ben? Aren't you two... Ding. I instinctively pull out my phone and check the notifications. What, Wheels chatting you up? No, I got a text from the school. It looks like they released the monthly newsletter. I follow the link in the text message, and it takes me to a PDF copy of the newsletter. You got this ending on your first playthrough? Oh man, thanks Noodle the Dragon. I am preparing for heartbreak. I follow the link in the text message, and it takes me to a PDF copy of the newsletter. You want to hear any of this? Sure, read it, whatever. Alrighty then. Good morning, Feathertails. This week we have the following announcements. Skip anything related to studying or our lazy-ass sports teams. Alright, oh. To all our students, you are invited to St. Hammond High School's 21M 2023 VC Winter Formal. Immerse yourself in the serene beauty of the wintry night sky with music, food, entertainment, and much more. We will also be hosting a special memorial for one of St. Hammond's finest teachers who has recently passed, Mr. Trent Yadikan. The event will take place at the Volcadera Convention Center on Friday, December 15th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets for the Winter Formal are now on sale online or in Miss Brockling's class in room 211. $15 for one and $30 for couples. Preparing isn't enough. I mean, 3 ripped my heart out, and that was nowhere near as sad as whatever happens here is going to be, I'm sure. Please read our event dress code to know what will and will not be allowed for the formal. Have a great weekend. Go Feathertails. You didn't have to read that last part out loud, idiots. Sorry. A few more moments of silence pass. Are you planning on going? Yeah, after your lazy ass is done with the rest of the cleanup. No, I mean going to the winter formal. Absolutely, it's one of the few things here worth doing. And I know Ben's been looking forward to it too, working night and day to get things ready. Aw man, organizing that whole thing and courting Mia the whole night? I hope he can take it. In any case, my muscles feel noticeably less sore than they did before. As I stand up to stretch, Mia makes a show of groaning in exacerbation. Finally! Now go finish so we can go home. Finish? Gotta move the new locker in, dumbass. Shoot, forgot about that part. I spend another half an hour moving the filled trash bins while Mia serves a kind of moral support. All that's left are the lockers. I kneel down by the freshly unpackaged metal lockers, my hands braced at their base. For a moment, they don't budge. Come on, Shades. I exert all my strength into my legs. Come on. I'm starting to feel them rise. Oh, come on. While I'm focused on the task of lifting, I notice Mia leave my peripheral vision. Huh? The weight of the locker seems to vanish, and they rise easily. Now that I'm not straining against the heavy weight, I can look to the other side, and see Mia easily handling the majority of the weight of the lockers. She must have taken some painkillers during our break, as she's handling the weight with both her arms. Sweet, we're done. Are you okay? Your arm. Go get the janitor, Shades. Ah, she was faking, I knew it! Not too long after, our chaperone examines our work and lets us go. Mia and I are both escorted out of the building by our school's security guard, and she wastes no time in rushing towards the school's parking lot and peeling off in her exceedingly loud hot rod. I'm left walking alone to the metro station, as always. I'm exhausted. After so many hours of heavy lifting, all I want to do now is fall asleep. I had originally wanted to go and visit Olivia after detention, since I was the only one doing any work. It took forever. And honestly, I'm a mess. I definitely don't want to show up there looking like this. Stretching my limbs out to fill the rest of the bench, a familiar shade finds its spot beside me. Good afternoon, Inko. Withholding my groan of pain, I force myself back upright and turn to the older whale. Hey, Mr. Ferris, what's up? I feel I should be asking you that. Forgive my bluntness, but you look out of sorts. My mouth opens to tell him about the detention, but I shut it. The audit. The hall. Oh, I just had a busy morning, sir. The whale bellows his own groan. Yes, I suspect we all have. I had a dreadful meeting this morning. Positively dreadful. What for? His eyes shut in contemplation, reopening after a moment. I suppose it's already public knowledge. Many of the schools in the district have some formal or gala or other event coming up. Of course, since the students are still under our care, there are strict guidelines for these. Frankly speaking, it was a meeting spent talking of the follies of youth, Mr. Nito. He chuckles at his own joke. But once again, I'm reminded of the formal. I'd love to take Olivia to it, but would that be too much? We aren't exactly dating after all. Well, maybe we are? I didn't confess. It's not like in the movies. Maybe I need to reread that article on situationships? Situationships? Mr. Nito. Sorry, I was lost in thought. Yes, I could see. What's on your mind? An awkwardness settles in my stomach. It'd be weird to just vent my problems to someone I barely know. But on the other hand, this is Liz's uncle. Plus, he's a lot older. I'm sure he'd have some good advice. It's at least worth a shot. I wanted to ask Olivia to the dance, Mr. Ferris. Miss Halford, well, I think she's a fine young lass, Inko. I know, it's just, I don't know if she would want to go. Left unsaid was the reason for her current mood. But thankfully, Mr. Ferris understood the unspoken half as he gave a solemn nod. I see. I've been in your shoes before, Inko. Which, by the way, they don't have in my size, regrettably. Over the years, I found that when my wife was feeling down, fresh air helped bring her spirits back. Fresh air? I mean, Olivia has been cooped up in her room for 2 days already, and likely for a lot longer since she's without her wheelchair. I hope it's repaired soon. Yes, an open-air date of some kind. A chance to really stretch her I mean, some time to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. Nice save. It's the best idea I've heard so far. Plus, we haven't had a date yet. I could take her out somewhere, and if it goes well, I could ask her to the formal right after. Even make it a surprise for her. But where would I take her? I don't really know Volcadera that well, sir. The older man grins, and ugh. Damien wasn't kidding about those teeth. How fortuitous of you, then, that I may have the perfect date spot for you. Bringing up a positively tiny suitcase, Mr. Ferris reaches in and withdraws a slip of paper. Every year I would bring my wife here so that she can enjoy the winter night while staying warm. I'm sure this will be to your liking. I take the sheet and scan it over. It's a flyer for the Volcadera Pier, with an event list right beneath it. A date on a pier? Oops. I forgot to silence my phone. A date on a pier? I could see a multitude of things to do there just from the photos printed on the page. Games, food, and even some carnival rides. It's perfect. What is Olivia gonna do on a carnival ride? It's not perfect at all. Thank you, Mr. Ferris. His smile widens, but I contain my urge to flinch. Think of it as my thanks for helping me with the fashion advice. Before I can thank him more, I notice that my stop is coming up. Actually not King. I have this little cope mechanism after I see an E1 playthrough that I will explain when you get there. Ah, good to know. I might need a coping mechanism. I figure that I'll ask Olivia now, and we could decide on which event to go to once she has her chair again. I spent all of Sunday combing over the paper Mr. Ferris had given me. Naka-senpai, does he just take that with him everywhere? The piece of paper or the suitcase? Ferris probably always has his suitcase, and... I wanted the date to go perfectly, which meant outlining an itinerary for that day. When I told Olivia, though, she seemed reluctant to go. She was really down in the dumps. That only makes my conviction to take her all the stronger. Oh, no. I trust Mr. Ferris's advice. He's married, after all. After an entire evening of back-and-forth texting, I was able to convince her to go. She said her new chair was coming Friday night, meaning that Saturday was the perfect day for our date. I spent the entire week looking for romantic things to fill our date night with. Wusko. Oh, the flyer. Yeah, he's probably taking that everywhere. I still had to suffer through classes, which felt pointless without Olivia or Yatakan around. I had finished mapping out our pier date by Thursday. However, that same day, I got an email notification. Apparently, one of my favorite influencers online was going to host a live event at the Volcadera Mall this week, after some last-minute booking changes. The only problem being that it's on Saturday, the same day as our date. The more I thought about it, though, the more I thought Olivia would prefer to go somewhere indoors, especially with the cold. Oh, man. Plus, she wouldn't have to move around too much. It's the second Saturday of December, and the cold is starting to pick up. A good thing I changed plans, because I highly doubt she'd enjoy being forced out into the cold air any more than necessary. The IRL stream would be this afternoon, meaning we could even have a good lunch before going. At exactly 11 o'clock in the morning, I knock on the door to the Payne household. Damien opens the door, though I can tell he's a little worse for wear. As soon as he recognizes me, though, he perks up. Inko, what's going on, amigo? You here to hang? No, I'm here to see Olivia for our date. Didn't she let you guys know I was coming over to pick her up? We have a date planned for today. No, she didn't. Olivia's not really mentioning much of anything these days. It hasn't been all week. Oh. Well, stop letting the heat out. Come in. PTSD.png. Is it me, or Inko feels like a different person than other Inkos? Ending 1 Inko totally does. Like, in Snoot Game at least, each one of the Ending 1 versions of the characters is like the worst version of themselves. So I think this is Inko at his worst. He's completely self-centered, he's not nearly as concerned enough for Olivia as he should be, and he's planning their date around things that he would enjoy rather than things that they both might enjoy. He ushers me in and shuts the door, rubbing his arms to regain the lost warmth. Olivia's still not feeling better? Damien brings his index finger up to the end of his snout. Quiet, she can hear us. Damien looks around the room real quick before turning his attention back to me. No, she's not. I said Vinny and I would try to cheer her up. Didn't work. She would just ignore us, staring at whatever she was watching. For hours. But yeah, she's not even coming out for food. Mom's at least leaving her some by her door, but I've never seen her this bad. Is it alright if I take her out, then? No, please do. Please do. That's probably exactly what she needs right now. Alright. I go to knock on Olivia's door. When there's no response, Damien waves me to go in anyway. As before, Olivia is on her bed, in a similar position to when I saw her last. Hey. You still want to go to the event? Come on, you wanted to go earlier. You need some fresh air. Okay. She gets up, straightening her shirt out. While I looked away to afford Olivia her dignity, I didn't fail to catch the indented marks from her sheets on her scales. Where are we going again? Volcadera Mall. I figured we could watch something together. So, where's your new ride? She gestures across the room. By her door, lying on its side, is a large, unopened box. When I realize what she means, I look back to her in bewilderment. Really? I told him I'd get around to it sometime. Olivia shrugged, looking nonplussed about it all. Well, she's up. It's something. I sigh and go to open the box. It's closed tight with tape. You got a knife? Olivia bares her teeth and rolls her tongue over the sharpest incisor. Oh boy. It doesn't take long to assemble Olivia's new chair. It looks pretty identical to the old one, in all honesty. I hold the chair steady next to her bed for her. Alright, ready for the maiden voyage? Olivia rolls her eyes at my lame joke, but I still see the tiniest smile she tried to hide. She slides carefully into the seat, slowly correcting herself and adjusting her legs to properly rest on the footrests. Yep, we dug our grave, now we're laying in it. The small grin is there again as she handles the wheels slowly, pushing and tugging them. It takes me a moment to realize she's actually testing the chair. To me, it looks like she's silently dancing to a tune only she hears. Finally, with a nod, Olivia looks to me. Alright, I'm ready, Inko. Nodding back, I hold open her bedroom door. I wave to Damien as we leave, though Olivia doesn't seem to even see him. He waves back still, even tossing me a thumbs up for luck. Mr. Ferris was right, as even in the cold air, I can see Olivia's spirits slowly return. I can't wait to get to the mall now. I'm actually going on my first date. He should be way more concerned about the fact that she's been completely sedentary in her room and nonverbal. Like, holy shit. Volcadera Mall is a pretty large shopping center, nested in between the skyscrapers of the city. Above the first 3 floors of department stores and restaurants, you can see another dozen for office space, all looking down on traffic below. Working here must be pretty convenient. If this place had an apartment building built in, you'd never have to leave. Part of that has a certain allure, but thinking it also sends a strange feeling of dread. Man, this is boring. The event is between the food court and the cinema. It was supposed to be a 2-hour meet and greet where he would hand out some merch and let the audience participate in a live review of a movie, but it's been a while and we still haven't started. The area is crowded with dozens, maybe even 100 other people waiting for Hank. The other attendees are not exactly the best when it comes to looks, or smells, for that matter. Most are either on their phones or look like they're about to pass out in their chairs. A few are talking among each other, albeit very obnoxiously loud and spirited? Yeah, let's go with that. Olivia and I were barely able to beat the lunch rush, and the remains of our Chinese fast food lie in a pile on our table. The event should have started half an hour ago. Where's Hankenfile? I always loved his reviews. He has a seriously good eye for taste and gives excellent commentary. In fact, that's partly why I thought Olivia might want to meet him just as much as I do. If we're lucky, we can get some great feedback on her work. If he shows up. He's a movie reviewer. What would he have to say about paintings? So, Olivia, she shifts her gaze to me. Have you been doing all right? Ugh. She glances my way and notices my frown, opting to reply with an actual answer. Yeah. At least she spoke up this time. Even on the ride over, you were pretty quiet. Quieter than usual, I want to add on. She's mostly back to one-syllable sentences. It's like the beginning of the school year. I'm getting a bit concerned. How to broach the topic, though? Should I even? I think so. This date's meant for her, after all. I just need to get past those walls of hers. I gently grasp the idle hand that rests on her chair's armrest. I finally get a response from Olivia as her eyes widen and a hue of red graces her cheeks. Olivia? I feel her fingers curl softly around my hand. Yeah, sorry, Inko. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. I start to feel more confident as she lets down the emotional wall between us. What's on your mind, Livy? She scowls at the nickname. Don't use that, Inko. Sorry. But what's been troubling you? Her hand clenches, and I can feel the tension radiating from her. Biting back my wince of pain, I simply smile for her. When's the last time you painted? It's been a while. I just haven't felt like it. Even if I did, I wouldn't be able to actually paint anything. You're quitting painting? I didn't say that. I just don't have it in me right now. I might again, sooner or later. You don't have it in you? Everything just seems like a pain right now. Doesn't have it in her. Damien mentioned that she hadn't even left her room all week. Everything? Yeah. Is that why you didn't bother with? My eyes wander to her wheelchair. The one I had to put together for her. Her only means of leaving, and it was left unopened until I arrived. Doesn't really make a difference. This is the first time you've been able to leave the house after a whole week. Isn't that good? She shrugs. It's nice to get some fresh air, I guess. No desire to do anything? I think to ask if that meant this date with me, too. I just bite my tongue. Oh my god, he's so self-centered. Like, textbook clinical depression right here. The rest of the leftovers are too cold by now. Isn't something supposed to be happening? Yeah, it should be. Where the heck is Hankenfile? It'll be worth it, you'll see. I promise. I reach my hand over to her, and the hand she has resting on her arm. Olivia looks down at my fingers and then me. With a sigh, her arms uncross and our fingers intermingle and lock. Yeah, the date is meant for her. Even though they're here doing what Inko wants to do. Her eyes turn back towards the stage. And after a couple of seconds, she leans in close to whisper, what are they staring at? I'd been trying to ignore it. But since we've sat down, we've been getting strange looks from the other people waiting. With a raised eyebrow, Olivia glances around us at all the other people stuck waiting for the main event to arrive. We're the youngest two here by far. Everyone else here is around a decade older. Some of the eyes are brimming with anger, though a lot seem more mournful. I guess it's just the audience he has. Don't worry about them. Uh-huh. Wowza, the depressed girl wants to go out with me. Olivia rubs her arms a bit nervously. What's so special about this guy that everyone here wants to see so bad? He gives really insightful reviews. For what? Here, I'll yank up his channel for you. I find his page on my phone and show it to Olivia. She scrolls through the first few pages of videos. The Lana's Witch School Season 6 finale is an emotionally traumatizing masterpiece of storytelling. All of these are... Does he review anything for adults? Hey, you watch anime all day. You can't judge. I guess. The conversation sort of dies out. Ugh, these guys. As time goes on, I can't really ignore that there's a certain musk they seem to universally permeate. To our side, a few of them argue loudly about the pro-segregation undertones of the saber-toothed king through slurred bites of food. Could they at least argue quieter? Or have enough self-awareness to not wear Lana's witch school bags in public? Well, whatever. Who cares about his fans? We're not here to see them. Maybe that's why that guy is so late. After all, if it were me, would I really be this keen on meeting these people? What am I talking about? He's the one who organized it. Of course that's not the case. Besides, he has a duty to his fans. So he probably is just caught in traffic. Oh, oh, that's what your avatar is? Shit, they're calling you out. I hope it's not something worse. At least Olivia's back to looking bored and not nervous. At least. Man, this was a mistake, wasn't it? Sudden chatter rips me from my train of thoughts. Heads around us turn their attention down the mall corridor. Could it be? I lean forward to get a view. Sure enough, that's him, iconic suit and all. There he is, yeah! The crowd erupts into cheers and applause at the sudden arrival. It's him, all right. I let out a huge, long sigh of relief. One that slowly but surely turns into a sigh of defeat as it becomes more visible that he's swaying side to side with every step. He showed up to his own event drunk. That's no good. My forehead makes a loud thunk on the table. One of the empty cartons of noodles topples onto its side. He's drunk off his ass. Nearly an hour late and arriving completely inebriated? From my position, I see Olivia's gaze is also fixed in that direction with a single raised eyebrow. How is he supposed to even host the event like this, let alone get Olivia out of this slump? This whole idea was stupid. I'm such an idiot. Whoa, he fell over. I'll go help him. I give up. Even from here, I heard the meaty thwack of a fist greeting someone's face. Oh my god. Let's just go. Wait, I want to see this. Whatever. Many of the spectators are recording the drunkard host as he attempts to wrestle one of his supporters down with him. In seconds, mall security arrives, dispersing the crowd and pulling Hank off of the poor fan he was assaulting. My face falls into my hands and all I can do is groan. Why me? Why all of this? Okay, move it along, nothing to see here, folks. A damn lie, as I see Hank and File struggling against a handful of other security officers. Once I muster up the energy, I stand from my chair. All the other patrons have started filling out at last. The date of all time. I mean, at least they got to see an influencer get canceled live. I start pushing Olivia away from the food court, though very slowly as the disaster that we just witnessed weighs on me. So, that was our date? Olivia cranes her head back to see my lips flapping uselessly. I can't find any words to really say, so I just give her a glum nod. Her eyes pinch into a glare, and she looks back ahead. The foot traffic around us clears the way, giving us a wide berth. Probably from the glare Olivia is sporting now. Each leaden step I take, I try and formulate something to say. I have a backup plan. I knew that would happen. It was totally one of his skits. We're still at the mall, and each one I shoot down before it can come out of my mouth. Until... Olivia, her head tilts back again, and her glare is now focused solely on me. Look, I'm sorry. I wanted to share something